Hey everybody, welcome back to my part 2 video of my idea called the Prior Mind Dilemma. If you haven't seen part 1, you need to go back and watch that. And just as a side note, I would like to ask you to watch this video right here. It doesn't have to do with the Prior Mind Dilemma, but it's just a video that I spent a good bit of time on, and I wish that more people would watch it. What it is a response to Ray Kurzweil's book, The Singularity is Near, and in this video, Predicting the Rate of Human Progress, I discuss my idea that human progress should actually be mapped on a logistic curve and not an exponential curve. To find out more, watch the video. Okay, so where we left off with part 1 was we were looking at here, and basically the problem is we can't really agree on a definition of truth, or obviously we can't get outside of our own experience or what we're able to access, but if we just if we look at what some people have said about truth, some famous people in history, you can see that there's a divided view on truth. Some people are going to say that it's in nature, others that it's just in the mind. And basically, if you just think about the statement that science is the pursuit of truth, what does that mean? Is it that there's truth in nature that we're trying to wrap our minds around? Or is it that the pursuit of truth is really just the pursuit of like a mental satisfaction and with the state of affairs? Interesting one here from Arthur Eddington. He's basically saying that truth the pursuit of truth brings out the best in everybody, but Terence McKenna has this quote here is very skeptical that humans can access truth. So that perspective is basically hyper external. Aldous Huxley is more of the conventional external perspective, and again, the whole point of trying to narrow truth to being just inside of the mind is that it's a really convenient way to deny the existence of a higher power, because since truth is conceptual but yet so enigmatic, if it's only applicable to as a quality, at least sorry about that. At least in the correspondence theory, then it's been limited very, very far, and then with with deflationary theory, it's like taking, first of all, like, it can't possibly be true, in my opinion, because it doesn't give a definition of truth. It just tries to say that truth is just like, you know, if you say snow is white, then, and like the statement snow is white is true, then you're not really saying anything more than you already said if you were just saying that snow was white. But the way I see it, deflationary theory of truth, which again, like, you have to see that that like, if truth was just a semantic tool, then there wouldn't be any room for like an eternal truth. Like, but basically, the way I see it, deflationary theory fails because it's a equivocation, basically, of, you know, two things being equal and having a confirmation that something is true. Like, it's basically saying that whenever you confirm that something is the case, that's the same thing as saying that the case is the case. It's stupid. And, but if you want more information on it, and again, I admit I don't know a whole lot about it, but I came upon it and was sort of worried about it, but there's a big article here about it, and if you get down here to like the refutation of it, there, you know, even in the 90s, there was a philosopher that came up with like 39 part 7 objections to deflationism. Horwich, 1998, considers 39 different objections. So, you know, anything should be considered, and until it's been disproven. But obviously, with philosophy, a lot of things can't really be disproven one way or the other. But this is my best attempt to show that there's something funny going on with truth in the fact that you know, in any non-deflationary perspective, truth actually, which is basically everybody but hardcore deniers, which I could almost equate with like flat earthers. Like, to me, a deflationary truther is like a flat earther. It's just, it doesn't compute. There's no evidence for it. And so the truth is, you know, it corresponds to a state of affairs. So you have a statement about the world, and if it corresponds, then it's true. But it's not just that the statement is true, but it's not just that. It has to correspond by way of evidence, repeatable experimentation, basically. And that's another problem I have with deflationary stuff, because you're talking about these sentences like, you know, I think it was Bertrand Russell or somebody in the Wikipedia article that was talking about deflation theory, and it was like, oh, there's no difference between, like, I smell violets and it's true that I smell violets. Like, that's subjective. Like, that's not even, so we want to talk about, you know, you're talking about truth, you want to talk about things that can be, like, proven. And so, and not just as a matter of observation. And so, yeah, once you, like say you have a party, or like, you know, fair rides. Only people of a certain height can ride certain rides, because you're taking your life into your own hands, basically. Like, you don't want kids killing themselves. Like, but say you have to be like over 4 feet tall to ride this ride. If you're 4 feet or taller, then you get a confirmation. Like in the sense of like true or false, you know, the confirmation isn't the same thing. Confirming something isn't the same thing as just saying the same thing over again. You know, like waiting at a light for it to turn green, etc. Like you get the point, I think. And so, I want to talk a little bit about the simultaneity argument, which I don't have a slide for here. These are just my last 2 slides. You can read them if you want, but I'm just going to keep talking until my time is up. And basically, I talk about this in my music video for the Prior Mind Dilemma, which it's called something like, well, it's right here. Yeah, this thing right here. New argument for omnipresence is spellbinding. And in there, if you read through all the text, you'll see that I imply that it's not the case that statements are true in the case that or existential statements, it's not the case that they're true if they're referring to an object that exists. Let's say the sun, like X exists, and then the referent X is like referring to the sun. You know, in one direction, you would say, well, that statement's true because the sun actually exists. But then the other way that you could think about it is, you know, like you could have, and again, this requires like a conceptual external reality, basically. You know, I mean, some people talk about a field of consciousness. I have ideas that the brain doesn't create consciousness. It just magnifies the consciousness that's already inherent in matter, which is different from, I think, Graham Hancock's view that brains are like receivers. I don't see them as receivers. I see them as like lenses. They focus. Sort of like a gravity well or you know, a body that bends gravity around the body. Brains are like lenses, and they bend and they focus the consciousness, the conscious field around them, and that's a very interesting idea to think about. Not sure if I have a video that's explicitly about that yet, but could do that. But yeah, so it's like simultaneity. The other way, it's like if something is true, or like yeah, you have this like conceptual realm with all these statements. Some of them are true, the other ones are false. But you could say that if this statement in the conceptual realm, if it's true, if it just happened to be one of the statements that was true, then that's what's allowing you see, like the conditional is going the other way in that case. But my opinion is that you have a simultaneity in the truth value of statements and the reference which those statements represent, and that, you know, it all just goes back to the concept that if something doesn't truly exist, then it's not going to exist. And as long as truth is something real, then that matters. And the bottom line is that the nature of truth and existence seems to imply, and it's no trivial matter to refute, that you need consciousness in order to not only observe, but to cognize the truth of the existence of existence prior and outside of there being human minds there to bear witness to existence. Thank you.